I want to welcome everybody to the Amazon Fast Track Coaching Q&A webinar with me. Hope you guys are having an awesome month so far. For some reason, I've been particularly productive. September, October. I consider myself fairly productive most of the time, but it does seem to be, as our weather heads into fall, I sort of hole myself up in a cave and really put in the long hours, the long yards, as they say. So been having a really interesting month. Got a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of good stuff happening. Hope you guys have been doing well yourselves. You guys already know how the Q&A works. You guys have been around the block with me for long enough, so we'll skip this. The quote of the month, kind of the thought of the day here. I like this quote a lot by Robert Brault. Not sure who he is, but I picked this up in a personal development book somewhere. And Robert wrote, "We are kept from our goal not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal." Love that. How true that is. What he's saying here is, well, two things. Number one, clarity is power. I think that's Tony Robbins said that way back in the 90s in his personal power tape course. Remember when they had tapes out there? By the way, tapes are making a comeback, believe it or not. Yeah, so clarity is power. Oftentimes, just you have a goal that you set. Let's say that you have a goal to source 3 new products for your Amazon business. You want each of those 3 products to average 10,000 or more per month. And that is the goal that's on a blank canvas, but there's a lot of fog kind of blocking you from knowing what the first step is, the second step, the third step. So oftentimes you just have to get absolute clarity on, okay, this is the end goal. I want to source and find 3 kick-ass products. Let's get absolute clarity on the first step. So the first step, just as an example, to use the bestseller matrix, or the first step might be to go and use that James Harbaugh tool, that Kippert tool that I showed you. Whatever it is, oftentimes it is having a lack of clarity on the first step that stops you from reaching the bigger goal, because it just seems so daunting, and it is daunting to just stare at a blank canvas and say, oh my God, what do I do first, second, and third? But just simple awareness sometimes is very curative, I've found. Trust me, I go through this too. Sometimes when I have a big goal and I've never really developed or learned the skill set or the tools, or I don't even know where to start sometimes, and I really have to fight this, because it's very easy to keep pushing it off and doing the things where you have more clarity. But it is very powerful to sit there, and in my case, I grab an artist sketch pad, okay? And I will literally just map out, like on the far right-hand side, I'll put the goal in a circle, and then on the whole left-hand side, I'll start mapping out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I can at least know what my first 5, 6 steps are in that process. And obviously, if it's a new project, those steps will change and rearrange, and some of them won't apply anymore as you get more experience towards working towards that goal. But you're only ever the next step away, and then the next step after that, and then the next step after that, to accomplishing pretty much any goal. So, good quote by Robert Brault. So let's get right to the hot seats in the Q&A here. This should be an interesting session for us here. This is from Rachel Poole. Hey, Rachel. I think I remember seeing you quite a bit on my Periscope, so thanks for joining me over there. Oh, by the way, if you guys are not following me on Periscope, you are missing out big time, because pretty much at least 5 or 6 days a week, I'm broadcasting, what I'm working on, or I'm sharing a tool, or I'm just kind of pumping you up, or going over what's going on in my life at the time, related to e-commerce. So highly recommend that you sign up for that. So Rachel writes, thank you so much for your awesome content. I would like to know how to use the new exact and phrase match keywords in our Amazon sponsored ad campaigns. I am curious on what we should be doing different. Okay, I'm actually going to be teaching a segment on that. So let me just kind of do broad sketch here. So I'm not sure if you have, Rachel, if you have any experience in what exact and phrase match means in in the world of the Google Ads. But let me just show you something real quick here, just in case you don't. Let me just write exact phrase match. And usually, let's see, they usually have a definition that pops up here. Well, here, it's the exact same definition that Google uses. So phrase match would be any phrase or any search that someone would type in that encompasses those words. So for example, if you wrote down as phrase match red shoes, then any variant of that that people put before it or after that, it'll trigger your ad. So extra large red shoes, boom. In the word phrase match, that would make your ad appear. Red shoes for tennis players, boom, that would show up. Okay. Now exact match means only if they type that exact search phrase. So if you set red shoes to exact match, it wouldn't show up for extra large red shoes. It wouldn't show up for red shoes for tennis players. It would only trigger that ad if somebody typed in red shoes. So it's the exact same search phrase rule structure that Google really pioneered and innovated. So you can find this just by typing in like what does phrase match or what does exact match mean, and you'll find this AdWords help, and this is very handy just to kind of see, okay? So, but I'm going to be getting into some ninja stuff of how I think we can use it to our advantage, and I'd rather do that in a more comprehensive kind of module, which I'll be doing in the future, okay? Good question, though. I think that's some good opportunity for us. Okay, so Steve Snowman has a question, but I have to be careful reading this because he wants me to keep the product idea secret. Okay, so he says that the okay, so he wants my opinion if I think it's a good product idea, and I think using James Harbaugh's Kippert tool would be perfect for this because, you know, you sort of, well, look, you have to make sure you adhere to some of my basic formulas. Step number one, using either Azon seller tools or, and I can't show it because you want me to keep it secret, but or James Harbaugh's Kippert tool, which is now my preferred favorite. You know, if you know when you're a little more advanced, I would never teach this to the new ASM Sixers. I wouldn't teach James Harbaugh's thing there because they would literally, their brains would explode. It's just too advanced for them. But you know, after a couple months of doing product selection and you know, kind of sharpening your teeth with that kind of stuff, James Harbaugh's tool is killer. I mean, it's what I'm using now quite a bit. So rule number one, if you're just looking for just a broad taste of what the market demand is, you're going to use like a James Harbaugh type tool or the Ultimate BSR Smackdown. And you want to type in the main keyword. Don't do some convoluted weird keyword. The main keyword that you identify, and you want to make sure that there's 3 instances of BSR 1,000 or better. Remember, BSR, bestseller rank. The lower the number, the better. So as example only, if you saw, and you know, sorry, let me rephrase this, 3 products that have a BSR under 1,000 within the top 20 listings. So usually for me, unless I have a damn good reason, if it doesn't meet that criteria, I might avoid it. If it's right on a cusp, or if other research shows me that it appears to be a good product, see, now I can go to James Harbaugh's tool and look up average daily sales, and I can dig deep into the average daily sales depth. So, like in other words, if if I see that I can be ranked number 10 and I'm still averaging 30 units a day, and even if I'm ranked number 15, I'm still averaging like 20 units a day. Well, that's a good enough confirmation signal for me that I would say, okay, you know what, that's proof of good market demand, even if maybe one of the BSRs is kind of on the cusp, okay? Now, you marked a lot of reviews. You gave me the reviews for some of them. The reviews are irrelevant. I could care less how many reviews the other products have because I've given you a gazillion tools on how to get reviews. Really, once you're into triple digit, like 100, which is not that hard to do if you're moving product, then you know the difference between triple digits is literally nominal. Literally nominal. I mean, really, someone who looks at a product with 112 reviews versus 356, you may kind of scrutinize it, but the average impulse buyer, to them, it's triple digit, triple digit. Where they get worried is 7 reviews, right? Or 19 reviews. I would say even anything over 50, like if you had 56 reviews, is almost as powerful as 156 to most people now. You know, the analyticals, they're a different story. But I'm not in this business to sell to analyticals. They have too long of a buying cycle. They want to look up stats and figures, build spreadsheets just to make a $20 decision. I'll let my competition chase down that business. I want the sweet spot of the market, which is the impulse buyers, and I write all my listings, my titles, blah, 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 to go after the impulse buyers. That's you know, in the vernacular of Dan Kennedy, he calls those your hyper-responsives, and the more hyper-responsives you get, the more cash-rich and the more profitable and the more successful that business tends to be. Okay. So you didn't really ask me a question, you just kind of gave me some details, so those are kind of my thoughts based on what you gave me, okay? Hope that was helpful, Steve. Okay, Jenny Schneider from Texas, she's a Texan. How you doing, Jenny? She writes, as our business grows, we start having more than 5 to 10 products. I start feeling extremely overwhelmed with tons of things to do. Welcome to the club, Jenny, right? Between the marketing and new implementations, we have the inventory, the bookkeeping, the graphic design, the video making, et cetera, et cetera. You know exactly what I mean. I do. Absolutely. I feel I am ready to start hiring help more than a customer service VA that I have in place. Hey, Jenny, the fact that you have a customer service VA means you're light years ahead of most others, so great job there. However, I don't feel that I want to bring someone home to work with me. Also, I don't feel that I can offer a full-time position yet. Can you please share some of your experiences with hiring people to work remotely and also part-time work? What kind of position should I offer people and how to have successful hiring? Okay, so you know, we've been on a mad hiring binge, and so I think currently we have, and people ask me this and I can never remember, so people look at me like I'm crazy, but something like 6 or 7 employees now. And so we well, so that you know, being partners with Wilson, you know, Wilson Mattow. So there's 3 equal partners in my business, in my Amazon business. It's Wilson, Jason, and me. Okay, and I can really tell you that having Wilson's influence has really helped my thinking about employees. I have, you know, as a solo entrepreneur for most of my life, when I had nightclubs, I had over 100 employees, and I was miserable. I felt like I was running like an adult daycare center. You know what I mean? So I kind of went the opposite direction as the 2000s and as we headed towards like 2008, 2009, I kept shedding more and more employees until it was just me and my wife. And at that point, I had divested myself of my nightclubs, my other Vegas businesses, and I was running my practice management company. And I had oriented everything around not having to hire a single employee and deal with them at all. Now, that carried through a little too long into the expansion of my e-com business, my e-commerce business, to a fault where I didn't have a life for several months. So what Wilson suggested, and he's really, really good and genius at this, in fact. It's something that we talk, and he talks about quite a bit in the 25K Collective Mastermind, because, you know, when you reach a certain sales figure, this, Jenny, the problem that you're having and that I was having, everybody has. So it's like, what are the key positions, and how do you hire them, and how does all that work, right? It's kind of like what we call a first world problem, right? These are good problems to have in a sense, because it means you're doing something right, you're growing, you're bursting at the seams. So I just have a couple thoughts. Again, there wasn't a specific question, so I'll just give you a couple of my thoughts and observations on this. Number one, I think, well, at least for me, one of the first positions that I wanted to hire, and again, you know, Wilson kind of helped me kind of get over my fear of hiring fast and hiring kind of aggressively to help me, was I wanted somebody full-time who could handle all of the supplier management. Now, I think this is again, now this is for me, this might be different for you. So let's say if you tend to be pretty good at the marketing and you like the creativity of it like I do, then that's where you should be spending your time. So that should not be the first person that you hire. However, if like having to, painfully reorder, fill out the PIs, bank wire the funds, make sure that ocean freight is picked up properly, track it, generate the LTL or the shipping orders within Seller Central, make sure that that inventory arrives at Amazon, then make sure that there's no disparity between the number of units and blah, blah, blah that arrived, and all that minutia, and there's a lot of it. Just, when you're getting, as you add more products, right? And that same person would also stay on top of making sure that reorders were done so that if I got busy with something else, we weren't all of a sudden short of inventory. All that kind of stuff, right? That is what I hired. For lack of a better word, I just called her a supply chain manager. And so I taught her and I gave her templates for how to renegotiate when we place reorders, for how to, I got her set up so she could bank wire 30% down and on and on and on. And it was, there was a learning curve, but it probably after, let's see, 3 months, she can do this completely on her own now. And so that is a big, weight off my shoulders, because that was taking a lot of my time, and I would get very frustrated because I was like, well, I'm not adding value to my company by messing around with reorders, and the paperwork and contacting my freight forwarder and blah, 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 blah. And also, one of her jobs was every Wednesday she sends out a nag email, like what I call the squeaky wheel email, to my suppliers, and just to make sure that we stay on their ass to make sure that we get on-time delivery. So she'll say, hey, I know for this and such product, the ETA that you told us is on blah, blah, blah date. I want to make sure we're gonna be able to hit that deadline. It's very important. Please give me an update. And believe me, when you stay on their ass like that, and by the way, we do the same thing for the American suppliers. We deal with American suppliers for certain products and Chinese suppliers for other products. Very important you do it for both. I've actually found the Chinese to be better at on-time delivery, unfortunately, than the American manufacturers. I don't know what that says for our work ethic here, but it doesn't bode well, I'll put it that way. So anyway, that's kind of my short answer of, for me, what I believe is a very time-intensive next position to hire for, somebody that would hire all of the inventory management, the supplier management. And if you don't have enough full-time work for that person, you can also turn them into a product sourcer to find your next product number 11 and 12 and 13. Because once they kind of get used, it's all kind of a comfort level thing, isn't it? Once they get kind of comfortable dealing with these suppliers and realizing that they're just normal humans that are trying to make a sale, they're going to be way more successful in then contacting future suppliers and going through that whole negotiation process, just because they're not scared of it anymore, right? Okay? So anyway, hope that was helpful to you. Okay, let me just go to the next one here. Sorry. Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. My window popped up here on my other computer. I'm trying to close it. All right. Sandy says, yeah, I've been selected for Amazon Lightning deals. Sweet. We fill out the spreadsheet. I never heard back from them. That sucks, but I'm happy for you. What's the best way to follow up during and after the deal to keep the BSR and sales coming in? Also, any ideas on cross-promoting my other products? I already have a discount coupon in place. Well, Lightning deals, no, I mean, realistically speaking, these are just going to be one-off deals. They will push, by the way, your BSR up, and they do tend to push your ranking up, which is very good for you. So it's kind of like, it's almost like doing a massive flash sale, kind of like I teach my flash sale funnel, or like a giveaway funnel. It will push your ranking up, and the idea being that if enough consumers buy that Lightning deal, and by the way, there's no promise that Lightning deal will be a huge success, because it has to be a product that people want, and the discount has to be there. But if it is, it can push your ranking up, and then it's kind of like the tide that rises all ships. It'll stay, hopefully, it'll stay up there long enough, assuming that the natural conversion rates will kick in and the increased visibility will help then maintain that ranking. But yeah, congratulations. That's awesome, Sandy. Keep me posted on what happens. I'm hoping that we get the happy nod here, but we submitted ours a little bit late because I was on the road, unfortunately. But okay, let's see. Shannon, you're not asking a short question, unfortunately, that I can answer quickly. I covered this at the beginning of last month's webinar, and I'm going to be posting the pick, launch, rank, ASM6 bonus webinars. You guys know I always have your backs. I'm going to be posting those in the bonus area, so I would refer you to those, and you'll get kind of like the latest launch strategies there that I would recommend. Short answer is, it's not much different than it used to be. You're going to go to family and friends, and the modification. It's funny. What's old is new again. What we all used to do when we launched a product is we would have friends and family buy it at full price, and then we'd offer to compensate them, by PayPal, or we'd just send them a check. And so that's like the no-brainer way to do it, and have friends and family leave you a review. And then, be careful thinking that the giveaway model is completely dead. The giveaway pricing just needs to be changed up a bit. Like to do it just for $1 makes no sense because that's like patently obvious. But who says you can't discount something for $2 or $3 as long as it's within reason, right? And also remember, now you can blend in a second funnel in that launch process called, you guessed it, my new flash sale funnel that I taught to fast trackers. So that is kind of the updated approach here. But again, I would refer you to those webinar replays when they're posted for more details. Okay. Despite my attempt to get people to leave me succinct questions, I'm still getting like multiple paragraphs, so I'm gonna sit here and try to summarize this as best as I can for you. Matthew, you're killing me, buddy. You're killing me, Matthew. You do this every month to me. All right, let me see what he says. Okay, so if you want to know exactly how many people are clicking on a link via a Facebook ad, just use some sort of a link tracker. 2 months ago or so, I taught you about Click Magic. It's a link tracker as well. It'll also build a retargeting list, so you should probably be using that, even if you don't use it for the flash sale funnel. Click Magic is cheap enough that it's kind of no-brainer thing. So what it'll do is it'll capture and build a retargeting list every time somebody just clicks it, but it'll also keep a raw total of the unique clicks, not just the people that keep clicking it 3 times in a row, but the unique clicks. That's the best and only way to do it. Okay. Regarding the flash sales funnel, he writes, would it not be sufficient to keep our price exactly where it's at and just use the MSRP? Oh, absolutely. Yep. So that's fine. There's more than one way to do a skin a cat, Matthew, so you can actually take a couple of different approaches if you wanted to. You could just modify, all right, if you can visualize the flash sale funnel page, right? It is that HTML page and then overlaid by a Click Magic banner that has a countdown timer and the flash sale kind of icon to instantly communicate that, oh, this is a very short-term sale. It's going away. Tick, 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 tick. We set the ticking time bomb, all that kind of stuff. You can just even in that banner, if you wanted to, do a big bold headline at the bottom saying, use coupon code yada 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 to save 48% at Amazon checkout. You can even use the coupon method without having to capture email address. Or alternatively, you can do what you said. You can go into Seller Central and you can put it on quote unquote sale. So you just jack up the list price, and then it displays as X% off. Just make sure that it correlates with what you're promoting in your ad and your landing page. So if you're saying 48% off, it would say sale, and then you know how it like kind of crosses off the list price, and it says, you know, save, I can't remember the verbiage, like save 48% or something like that. Let me see if we can find one here. Bluetooth wireless speaker. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, see, this doesn't really say sale, but you want to set it up as a sale. Here we go, sale. See that? And then you save, boom. See that? You save 57%. By the way, I taught a tool on my Periscope today. If you're not watching my Periscope show, I'm telling you, you should make sure that you follow me on Periscope. You just download Periscope for your iPhone and search for Ben Cummings, and you'll see my ugly mug. You just click the follow button, and then you'll get notices every day. It does self-destruct in 24 hours by design, so you have to consume those short tidbits daily, otherwise you lose out big time. It's a genius way to ensure that people actually watch, you know, when I'm taking the time, effort, and energy to record these if they're watching it. Okay, so this is what I covered on today's show. It's the percent off calculator. It's literally percentoffcalculator.com. So the way that you can calculate what, say, you know, 48% is let's just say that your price is $39.95, and you just do 39%, see, and you can play with this. So maybe you have to jack up your MSRP. So I'm saying just kind of play with these, and it's super easy to come up with those calculations, okay? Super easy. I use that tool all the time. Anyway, thanks, Matthew. I'm just teasing you about the lengthier stuff. Matthew's very active. I love it, and thanks for your questions here, and I hope that was helpful for you. All right, let's move on here. When creating a Facebook business ad account, and this is Sherry, hi Sherry from North Carolina. When creating a Facebook business ad account, do you need to create a separate login account with your business email? No. In fact, the terms and conditions are you have to use your same email as your personal profile. So there's two terms you have to understand. It's confusing the way Facebook does it. Personal profile equals, like, you know, Sherry Dobson as a human being, as a person. So when you log in and you see what your sister's up to and your classmates and your ex-boyfriend or whatever, just teasing, but you know, that's that, or your personal profile is what Facebook calls it, okay? As opposed to a Facebook business account or a business ad account, you log in using your personal profile. They want to make sure that they know who you are and what you're doing, but you use it, that's kind of like your ad platform for business purposes. So you can still create fan pages in your personal profile, and then you authorize your business, your Facebook business manager, they call it, you know, business manager account, to, you know, post and run ads on the behalf of those fan pages. I hate the system, by the way. Personally, this is a blatant violation in terms of service. If I had to do it over again, I would create a fake profile, a fake personal profile, which I'm not suggesting you do this, and I haven't done this, but I've heard that people do this, that you can open up, you know, anybody can have a Facebook account, and you don't have to be that paranoid about the same IP address being triggered, because in the same household there might be 6 family members that are logging into Facebook, you know, or, you know, what if your cousin comes in from out of town and logs in or whatever. So again, not recommending you do this, but I've heard that you can create a fake personal profile, and then you associate that to your business manager account and just run it more cleanly that way. Facebook really needs to get their act together with that, though. Good question. Okay, so Chris, what's up, Chris from Cali? He says, could you share how you structure a Facebook ad campaign? How I structure it? Okay, I'll give you the short version here. Okay. Here, let me bring up a document here, just so I can map it out for you. Hey, by the way, can anybody recommend? Do you guys know of? I'm on a Mac. Do you guys know of a software or something that I can like draw diagrams on my screen, or something like that. If you do, we just type it in real quick. I would love to be able to draw stuff out for you guys. Nobody knows something like that? If you guys can think of one, like I'm looking for like a software or an app for the Mac, my desktop, that I can like draw circles and arrows and all that kind of stuff. Get a pen tablet. Yeah, I do have one. Russell Brunson uses whiteboard. Is it called whiteboard, or you mean like literally like a whiteboard on his wall? I use Snappy app. Okay. I'm just gonna write these down. Sorry, just give me a minute. Snagit. Oh yeah, I guess I could do it on a Snagit. I'm looking for something where I could almost have a virtual whiteboard. So Snappy app, my paintbrush. Thanks, Thomas and Steve. My paintbrush. See if you guys have another one. Oh man, you guys have a lot. Draw.io. Draw.io. Thank you, Kevin. Another Snagit. Easy Draw. Thanks, Jonas. Sorry, guys. Just give me a minute. I'm just writing some of these down here. Google Draw. Oh, I've never heard of that. Google Drawings. Man, you guys are on the ball here. Whiteboard. Okay. Mac. Screen Ink. Thanks, Thomas. Screen Ink. All right, I'll check those out. I appreciate it, guys. All right, so let me show for Chris's sake. Let me show just how basically I structure this. So the way that Facebook. Okay, first of all, do everything in Power Editor. Okay, Power Editor only works. Let me blow this up. Power Editor only works for Google Chrome, right? So already you know it's going to be a little quirky, and it's something that it's not something you download. It's like it's almost scary, right? Power Editor, good God, I'm gonna lose control. But no, it's pretty easy to learn. I have covered it on the previous webinars rather extensively, so I'm going to give you the short version. The campaign structure is actually easy. You just name a campaign. All it does is it's just in name only. Like you don't really do anything. So you name it. Let's say dog shampoo video review ad, and literally it's just like coming up with a book title. Like there's no guts to the book yet. It's just so this is like the roof of the house. Within the roof of the house is something called ad sets, and then there's ads. Now ad sets, this is just where you say who's going to see your ad, and this is down here is the ad itself. Okay. So this is where you determine the audience is, or in the vernacular Facebook, interests, right? I mean, can't interest. They can't keep anything easy and just use normal human being terms. I don't know why they don't call it audiences. Nope, got to call it interests, right? But it's the same damn thing. So this is where you'd say, okay, target this campaign to Dog World Magazine. So in other words, like people who like Dog World Magazine. I don't even know if that exists. I'm just making this up. Okay? And also, like another ad set I want to do is everyone who likes German Shepherds and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't know that market. So in this case, I would have two ad sets. So one campaign, okay? So campaign's the room. In the house, I have two rooms of the house that I'm saying I want everyone who liked Dog World Magazine fan page and everyone who has liked German Shepherds on Facebook, they're going to see an ad. And then the third section is ads. This is the ad itself, okay? Now, in this section, ad sets, you actually determine two things or three things. Who you're going to target, and then how much you're going to spend to target them. So I might say, hey, Dog World Magazine, I'm going to spend $25 a day on that ad set, targeting them, and then Shepherds, I'm going to spend $25 a day on that ad set, okay? Now, in the ad itself, this is literally where you just write the ad, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So we'll say like text, it'll say what fan page do you want to use, and blah, 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 okay? Now, as far as audiences, so usually the ad, I don't start off testing the ad. I typically start off testing the audiences because I found that audiences hold the greatest sway, even more so than split testing multiple ads. So usually within 24 hours, without having to spend a lot of money, you'll be like, whoa, Dog World utterly sucks, in terms of results, but German Shepherds, I'm getting way more clicks, just way more activity, and I actually track it as cost per lead. That goes outside the scope of this call. I've covered this on past fast track trainings. Basically, you put a conversion pixel on the thank you page. If you're using any of my funnels, they all have a thank you page. Well, except the flash sale, that one doesn't because you're taking them straight to Amazon. But for everybody else, you can, all my other funnels have some sort of a thank you page, whether it's like the page that reveals the coupon or instructions or something, okay? If there's a thank you page, you put a conversion pixel and you say, oh, my average cost per conversion, or cost per lead as I call it, for this one's $1 per lead, but holy crap, this one's only, 68 cents. So clearly, this one is almost twice as good as this one. So you pause this one, okay? You literally pause this one. Whoops. Let me undo that. Sorry. I guess it didn't work. So you get rid of this one and you replace it with something else. Dog Society of the USA, or whatever. I don't even know what that's called. That should be X'd out. But now in a real world, here's what I do. I start a campaign. Uh-oh. How do I do that here? Let me undo. There we go. I start a campaign, and I start off with 6 ad sets or 6 audiences that I test right out of the gate, okay? And I test those for 24 hours. So what you'll find is the next morning is 3 of the audiences are good, and 3 usually suck. So I kill the 3 that suck, and I replace them with 3 new ones, and I keep the 3 good ones. So I run 6 audiences for another 24 hours. I keep the best 3, I get rid of the 3 dogs, I replace it with 3 new audiences, and run that for 24 hours. Usually after 3 days, I end up with 2 or 3 amazing audiences where I'm getting a lot of activity for cheap, and then I scale up from there. Okay, so that's a short course on how I do it. And of course, there's literally multi-day seminars on how to do this. So that's I can't teach it all here. It's just so far outside the scope of what's appropriate for a Q&A, but that's a good quick overview of it, okay? And hope you found it helpful. All right, let's keep going. Okay. Stefan from Sweden. Thanks for the great training. I know it's possible to get a product listed in more categories by asking Amazon to get it listed in additional browse categories. Yeah, it's called browse nodes. But I see that some other products are listed in many categories. When I asked Amazon to get listed in more browse categories, I could only choose one additional. The way that you can try to wedge your product into multiple nodes, as it's called, is you would use a tool like James Harbaugh's Kippert tool, or your own observation of your competitors that are in multiple browse nodes, and see the exact phraseology that those browse nodes contain. For example, let's say that you wanted to list dog shampoo in, let's say there's a dog shampoo category, subcategory. Well, let's say that your competitors also has it under dog accessories and dog gifts, just making this up. And you've requested it, and they're like, nope, sorry, we can't do it. Well, you would put the word accessories and gift, weave that somewhere into the headline, and the theory is that sometimes the Amazon A9 algorithm will pick up on that and go, oh, it's also applicable to these other browse nodes. I've found, me personally, I found mixed results with it, but it's certainly worth a try because you can always change it back. By the way, it also depends on who you ask in Seller Central, doesn't it? Because I reached out for several of our products. One person said no. The other person said no problem, added me to multiple. The other person said I can only be added to one. So you might just want to keep contacting people until they add you, until you find the right person and that who adds you to 2 or 3. Okay? Good question, though. There's one thing we all know about Amazon, it's what? They're not very consistent, are they? They're about as consistent as a politician, right? Okay, so Marco from Brazil, how you doing, Marco? He said that his initial product, he had a quality problem with it, and so he removed the inventory, sent it back to the supplier. It completely changed it, new design, new supplier, new packaging, and he's wondering if he should step into the old listing that does have has 49 reviews, which quite frankly isn't a lot. You could easily get that back up. I would start with a fresh new listing because of those 49 reviews are several negative ones, and you don't really want those in that listing, in my opinion. And you can also get a video review probably easily just by contacting the Review Sniper or using Review Sniper. That's Mark Crawford's tool. I talked about that I think in June or July. It's a very easy way to get video reviews in your listing. So all that stuff is relatively easy to do. Frankly, just using Review Sniper, you could just knock out over 20 reviews with that and probably get 1 or 2 good video reviews. You could probably get user photos submitted. So if it were me, I would just start from scratch with a new ASIN new listing if I were you. Steve wants to know if Craigslist is still a viable option to get 15 to 25-star reviews. Well, kind of like what I was just saying, you could do that. I mean, that is what I teach, and I also teach. I think what's far easier to do is just to post in niche Facebook groups and niche discussion forums, because those people that are into a topic, they would love to be a product tester, and Craigslist can be a pain in the ass if you have people who just willy-nilly ban your ad or just delete it. It's just a hassle. So you're a little more advanced. I wouldn't screw around with either. I would just use a tool like Review Sniper. If you don't have your own in-house review club, just use a tool like Review Sniper and just reach out to the Amazon top 10,000 reviewers that have a proven history of leaving 5-star reviews or video reviews and user-submitted photos, and just attack it that way. You could easily get 15 to 25-star reviews doing that. That's what I'd recommend. Dan White from Thailand asked a good question about using Terapeak, and is my BSR criteria the same, and yada yada yada. I think I answered that already on this month's training. Let me see when you submitted this. You submitted this, I believe, before I did this month's Amazon Fast Track training, and so you saw that. I think you saw when I used James Harbaugh tool how I addressed that. That's funny. Someone just write, are you still using the Review Sniper tactic, particularly after the most recent terms of service? Well, the terms of service has nothing to do with with contacting the Amazon top 10,000, right? You're not doing that to manipulate rank, correct? In fact, Amazon does not, has not and will not ban their Vine program, which is the same damn thing for the same reason. So there's no issue with terms of service with that. And yes, we definitely still use it, even more so. So Kath from Australia wants to know if I still like the Facebook video ad strategy. Oh yeah. Someone on my Periscope show last week said that they just typed something up while I was doing my show and said that thanks to that one strategy, they're doing something like 5,000 in gross sales a week, and they're paying less than 1 cent a view. It still continues to crush it. Oh, sorry. She wanted to know if I'm still talking about using the Facebook video ad made with V-roll, or now just focusing on product review video ads. No, I do both. I do both because there are certain products that, quite frankly, they just don't lend themselves very easily to a video review, and or if I'm just launching a product, I don't even have a video review, or sometimes there's a lead time. But also, those short V-roll videos work really well. I mean, if somebody is a dog lover and they just happen to be in the market, let's say that they're laying on a couch or on Facebook, their dog just got up to eat and there's a big pile of hair, and all of a sudden they see your de-shedding tool video, those can be very effective. So I use both. I like the product reviews better because it's a third party, but I absolutely use both. V-roll is awesome. Love that tool. Okay, Kath, I would focus primarily. I would pick 2 things that you like the best and implement those. You almost have too many options because of what I've taught. Just pick your 2 favorite things and just do those. Okay? Master those, and then you can add other layers of the onion on top of it. Remember what I said on this month's Fast Track webinar, that one big tip is that you want to be ultimately working from a promotional calendar, a monthly promotional calendar that over time you'll slot certain activities in there. So just as an example, I'm just making this up, please don't read into this, but like let's say October week 1, you have, and we use Google Calendar for this. It's the whole week of October. Let's say I am running a Facebook product review ad for that week, okay? And let's say week 2, I am doing 5 press releases in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and in week 3, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to make a determination when you start using these various tactics. Are these going to be something that are one-off tactics, kind of like a giveaway funnel, or are these going to be repeated maybe annually or every month or every quarter? And you just don't overthink it. You just slot it into the appropriate place in your calendar. And that way you never wake up without knowing exactly what you can do to proactively grow your business. And obviously part of that is you want to track what the results are. You can actually go back after, let's say, a week campaign, and within Google Calendar, there's an edit button where you can edit that and put the results into notes, or the results as best as you can interpret them, because I know it's hard. With Amazon not giving us any reporting, they don't let us put a conversion pixel or know how many exactly we got, but you can intuit based on, hey, I typically sell 10 and 12 a day. When I ran this campaign, we are now selling 15 to 20 a day. I can attribute on average roughly 5 units a day extra to this dirt cheap Facebook video ad campaign, so it appears to be a success, that kind of thing. You want to find one metric, from my experience, one metric that is most valuable and track that. If you're, you can go crazy with metrics, right? You can come up with a gazillion metrics and you never get anything done. I always ask myself, what is the one key metric that I absolutely want to track to know if this promotion is a success or not, All right. Todd Walker from Ohio. All right. I grew up in Akron, Ohio, Todd. I'm curious, when you're on Periscope next time, let me know where you grew up. Hi, Ben. Love what you're doing. Your Periscope gets me through the day, and I look forward to your monthly Amazon Fast Track webinars. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Question: when you capture a prospect email in your funnels with Aweber, how do you get the double opt-in from the prospect that's required by Aweber? Is this completed via a verification email to the prospect? Well, it's not required by Aweber. They want you to do it, but it's very easy to turn off. I always turn off the double opt-in, because double opt-ins will absolutely kill your opt-in rates, because very few people, it's really annoying to people. They say, well, damn it, I just opted in. Now I got to tell you again that I want your emails. I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you what to do. I can just tell you that from my experience and pretty much every experienced marketer that I know that is very aggressive building email lists, we all turn off double opt-ins and we all hate it. And we've never had a problem with it because we still have the IP address in Aweber when they submitted the form and the time and the date and all that kind of stuff. But it is not required by Aweber. They like it, but it's not required. So if you're not sure how to do that, just send them a support and say, hey, how do I turn off the double opt-in? And they'll show you where that is. Or you can just do a Google search. I'd rather do a Google search than wake up Aweber. Good question. Thomas Danford from Finland says, hey, Ben, I don't have a question. Just wanted to give a big thank you for everything you've done to help us. Joined Fast Track in June after repurchasing ASM through Rapid Crush, and my sales are up 4 times since then. That is freaking awesome, Thomas. I am so pleased to hear that. If you were in front of me, I'd give you a high five. I'm assuming they high five in Finland. It's a very American thing to do, high five somebody, but you know, awesome job. Really, really proud of you. Good job. On pace to further double that still this year. For me, the mindset you preach is perhaps even more powerful than your tactics. Thanks. Thank you, man. You just made my day. That's awesome. Whoa. Mel from Canada wrote a book here. So Mel, I realize that that Facebook is literally like a foreign land to you. What I'd recommend that you do, for real, like you need just the basic stuff. I would go on YouTube.com, and if I don't know how to do something, I use YouTube like a free, teaching or a free mentor resource. Literally, you can just type in how to make a Facebook fan page. A fan page is just a Facebook page for your business, and you have really only 2 decisions that you need to make. And you're not limited to just one, by the way. You can have, I have probably 30 different fan pages for different purposes. I have one from, so, XYZ Incorporated, and it's appropriate to have people like that particular fan page for your brand when somebody buys. May not be appropriate to run an ad on that fan page, though, for various reasons, because XYZ Inc., when that brand shows up in somebody's news feed, it doesn't mean anything to them. So, like, one advertising trick is to come up with a fan page name that's almost like a headline for the headline of the ad. So you can make a fan page that says, I love German Shepherds. And if I was selling dog shampoo, I'd probably do something like that. And I would obviously run that ad to German Shepherd lovers. I'd make a fan page, I love whatever, black labs, and so on and so forth. Now, you have to be careful. I went too nuts once. I created something like 20 fan pages in a day, and Facebook put me on probation. They said, we've banned you from making any new fan pages for 30 days. And I wrote an appeal, and of course, I never heard back from them because I had a very good reason to do it. But don't go as nuts as I tend to do when I test this stuff out. But yeah, so that's how that works. And your personal profile, that's not something you'd ever want to advertise or use. That's for you as a person, so you don't want to blend the two. You can, one little trick of the trade that's extremely powerful that works even better than running an ad under a brand name is create a fan page for a person. Now, that's a mind bender because you're thinking, wait a minute, you just said the personal profile is for me as a person and not to run ads. Yeah, exactly, but I'm saying, what if your business name was Jimmy Dean? And there is a business, Jimmy Dean Sausage, but what if Jimmy Dean, and you see a picture of a Jimmy, and an ad said, hey, I just found this amazing dog shampoo. This company is doing something crazy because they've just launched on Amazon. They're giving away this organic oatmeal dog shampoo for just for just $2.99. click here, I don't know how long this deal is going to last. And if that came from Joe Blow, the person, and showed up in my news feed, I'm not going to vote that news feed ad down or complain about it because, damn, do I know this guy? Because it's not looking like it's coming from a quote-unquote evil corporation. It looks like it's coming from a real person. And even the verbiage of it and the way it's couched and positioned. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, hope that makes sense. Okay, so Shannon wants to know if I recommend the canonical link or the Amazon.com/DP/ASIN link. I would highly recommend that you use the canonical link because oftentimes in that canonical link there are certain keywords, okay? So even though we're not really recommending anymore that you use like a super URL, there is advantages, in my opinion, to use the canonical URL because it contains more words, more characters in there that in my opinion, again, Amazon doesn't reveal this, but it is beneficial for ranking. It's also the more natural link if you think about it. So in other words, if you type in a search phrase and you click through and you find your product, they're not using the shortened, abbreviated like DP/ASIN link that we find when we click on our product within Seller Central. They're using the longer canonical link. So ultimately, nobody really knows for sure because Amazon doesn't reveal anything to us. But just from my experience, I have always used the canonical link in those purposes, and it's worked very well for me. But who knows? I mean, honestly, maybe the DP/ASIN will work just as well. But just kind of my gut from having studied this for so long. And okay, so James says that his Facebook ad account was disabled. He posted the email. Yeah, you got the standard email. And Facebook has been on a mad tear lately, just shutting down accounts for no good reason whatsoever. And he said that he said that it came because of high negative feedback. Yeah, they will say, oh, your ad account's been disabled for violating our terms of service. That's French for saying too many of their users hid the ad from their news feed, which in the ad manager settings, one of the columns that they hide, which is stupid, because they want they will disable your ability to run ads if the negative feedback from Facebook users is too high. They actually should post what the negative feedback is in one of the columns within your campaigns. Just kind of poke around in there and you'll find it. I can't show it to you now, but yeah. So one of the things to avoid that was actually good timing. What I just covered is rather than have some of your ads coming from the big evil corporation, how dare they show up in my newsfeed ad, have it come from a person that they think they might possibly know, and have it say, hey, I just came across this. This is absolutely awesome. Check this out. This is legit. I bought it myself. It works. That kind of thing. And you'll find that your results are better, ironically, anyway, and you'll get less negatives. And sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's been happening to a lot of people for no good reason at all. You know what's really frustrating is like when it happens to a guy like James who's selling a legit product, offering a great deal, for a really good discount, and then so they temporarily disable his ability, and they just gave it back to him, by the way, which is awesome because they usually don't. You usually just happen to open up a second, Facebook account to run ads through. So it's really no big deal. It just sucks. But it's so annoying that you get disabled because God forbid you offer your dog treat and put a discount, but then you see some super scammy, super hypey business opportunity ad being run without any problems, right? It's crazy. Chase says when you sell items off of Amazon on your own e-com site, like a Shopify site, how are you fulfilling or shipping those orders? So Shopify is it's about 2 clicks in the settings to integrate Shopify with Amazon fulfillment. Keep in mind, FBA, FBA was intended to be run like any other fulfillment business. There's a lot of fulfillment houses where you ship your product to their warehouse, has to have a SKU, and then when they get some notification, they'll ship it out. There's tons of those services. So Amazon, those of you that are familiar with like Amazon Web Storage or like Amazon S3, they just had excess capacity in their warehouses, and they're like, hey, why don't we offer our fulfillment services at a profit to help us keep expanding our warehouses? So like, in other words, if we got enough people, we could pretty much cover and defray a percentage of our overhead by offering our in-house fulfillment services. That was the original idea. It just so happened they also decided to let us sell on the Amazon website as well, but that wasn't the main intent. FBA means fulfillment by Amazon. So it's not that weird to think that Shopify would very easily integrate with FBA. So Shopify somehow talks to your Seller Central account. It took me like 5 minutes to turn it on. I don't really even know the coding behind it. It just works. So whenever somebody places an order through my Shopify store, automatically it's shipped by FBA. Pretty cool. That's why so many people are using Shopify. They make it really easy, especially for cavemen like me who don't know the coding stuff. So Camille from location unknown says, I just got your ghetto home studio set up. It's so funny how people call it the ghetto home studio now. And I'm implementing your video strategies from January and February. Very excited. Awesome, awesome. That's going to be such a powerful weapon for you to produce how-to videos, content for YouTube, content for your blog, content for inserts that you put in product packaging that say, hey, watch these 3 videos that show you how to get the maximum use from your product, blah, 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 blah. It's killer, killer, killer. So here's your question. Are these 2 strategies still relevant? Oh, yeah, absolutely. The 10 keyword videos each month and the product review with in-stream ads, sending traffic to it. Oh, yeah, all that stuff is very relevant. If you want to just save yourself some money, though, just knock out the 10 keyword videos each month. And even before you do that, knock out a series of FAQ videos, frequently asked question videos, that you can put on your website. You can put on a package insert. See, what's great about that is that if you eventually have your own e-commerce site, I don't know if you do or not, it doesn't have to even be Shopify, just a WordPress site. You can say, hey, would you like to know how to do the following 6 things with your product? How to do blah, 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 how to do blah, 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 how to do, 6 bullet points of your video titles. Go here to watch these free video product tutorials. And you link to your own website. Well, guess what's at the top of that website is please enter your email here, and give them some incentive to do so. To learn when we release further how-to videos, or to get an instant 25% off discount, or to join our product testers group, or blah 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 blah. Okay, so you have all that power now that you have your ghetto home studio set up. The other thing you can do for sure that I would use it is take one of your do a product review on your own product. So in other words, don't do a fake product review, but do it like this. Hey, this is Camille Gaines from Dog Shampoos R Us, and you might wonder, why am I holding my small poodle, and why am I holding this organic dog shampoo? Well, let me tell you why. Because blah 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 blah, and you do literally a review and a show and tell or whatever on your product, and you can run that as a Facebook ad, and it can be very, very powerful. One thing I'll suggest when you do all this stuff is to don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun with it. Be a personality. Don't be afraid to stumble a little bit. Don't be afraid to use cheesy jokes and be corny, and be a real person. And I think you'll get great results, much better results, than if you try to make it ultra professional. You know what I mean? Let's see. Camille, as far as I know, I've never heard that it's against YouTube terms of services to link to Amazon listings from YouTube and YouTube ads, because I do it all the time. and you yourself wrote you cannot find the details in the terms of service. Let me guess, you probably read that on like the ASM forum. I quit reading that years ago because there's just so much false information, and I find it like pollutes my head, causes me to worry about stuff I didn't even know I should be worried about, and 99% of it is just bunk, from my experience at least. Not saying it's all junk, but just be careful. Be careful who you listen to. A lot of those people don't even have a product live, and they'll just say, "Well, I've heard if you step outside, it's a full moon, and the tide's low, you can be banned from Amazon." Francisco from California says, Ben, Amazon recently changed my whole title and deleted all my keywords. Ew. Yeah, they're known to do that every once in a while. So annoying, right? I tried fixing it myself and even asked seller support. Unfortunately, my product went to page 2 and I haven't had a single sale since then. Please help me, Ben. I have worked so hard to rank this product. Yeah, job number 1 is you have got to, it's imperative that you have a page on your website, on your own website, where you can say that this is the proper title, okay? So that's step number 1. That's the first trick. So in other words, they want to see that you're the manufacturer, so you have to have your own website. Now, it costs like $25 max to pay some outsourcer on Upwork to install WordPress and do like a 1-page WordPress site or 2-page WordPress site. 1 home page and 1 product listing. Literally can be as ugly as sin, doesn't matter. And on that product listing, put the title that you want, and then put the rest of the product description. It's got to be your own website, not Amazon, your own website. Then step 2, contact Seller Central support and say, I've noticed an error in my listing title. I was hoping you could help me fix it. This is the correct manufacturer's title here, : and you link directly to the product page that you created with the proper title on your own website. My listing appears to be locked. Can you please revise that title so that it is correct for consumers that are purchasing this product? Thanks for your help, blah, 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 blah. And you might have to, go back and forth, and they'll say, well, we can't put the word guarantee in there and blah, blah, blah. And you say, oh, okay, well, can you make sure that the rest of it is in there? And almost always that will do the trick, okay? Then you probably know what to do. You have to do a mini giveaway to resume those rankings. And I don't know how else to do it other than that 2-step process. And that should work for you, though. And I know it's very disappointing when it happens, but hey, you know what? Challenges are always going to come up in business, always. So, hang tight, try to be resourceful, and hang in there. Certainly don't give up, because you obviously, were successful enough and resourceful enough to get ranked in the first place. So I know you'll be able to fix this, okay? Greg Welch, Kippert versus Jungle Scout web app. Kippert is clearly more robust than the new web app from Jungle Scout. Do you mind shedding some light on the accuracy of the sales data? I have no idea how accurate it is. I just know that a lot of the, I can't speak for the accuracy of Jungle Scout, but sites like Camel, and I believe Jungle Scout is pulling the estimated sales from Camel. It's very inaccurate, because I've looked up several of my own products, and it's a joke how inaccurate Camel is. Now, I point blank asked James Harbaugh if he's using Camel data. He said he's not, and he's using his own proprietary mixture to come up with accurate sales data. I don't know what that means. He wouldn't tell me. I mean, rightfully so. It's his product. How he came up with the algorithm for the keyword inspector report, but I found it to be incredibly far more accurate as a keyword tool than anything else. And it's kind of funny, as I kind of looked into his sales estimates for a lot of products. Again, all this stuff is, I always view it as estimates, not gospel, but I find his to be way more consistent across certain product lines where I happen to have very good idea of what typical daily sales are. So I think, yeah, and I can't speak to either of their secret sauce. But for me, Kipper seems to be the best of the best, and I really don't know how he's doing it. I don't know how much I should say, but he basically alluded to the fact that he has been able to calculate some kind of sales metric based on BSR for the main category and subcategories and blah, 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 and some other stuff he's doing. I still don't know exactly what his secret sauce is, but for me at least, I found Kipper to be the better tool. So hope that was helpful for you. Dave says, with the recent Amazon terms of service, is it still recommended you build your own review club? Yeah, I still think you should do it because there's really no reason not to do it. However, we got to be careful with the verbiage now. I'm not sure if we want to call it a review club. And we might want to start calling it a product testers club because we don't really want to make them or require them to leave a review. But what's great about a product testers club, okay, guys, is that we can say, hey, if you happen to like the product, you're not required to, but these product developers would love your review on Amazon. Well, you don't have to push too hard because if you're using the Feedback Genius 3-step emails that I taught that in a previous webinar. That's going to support and get the reviews for me anyway. And it's almost better if everyone doesn't leave a review because if everybody leaves a review, it's almost too unnatural. Okay, and so I hope that helped you. He writes, "Thank you and keep up the great work. Been a fast tracker since day one. Awesome, man. Thank you very much for the business. I appreciate it, Dave. It's been one of the best investments I've ever made. Thank you so much. That is awesome." And I hope you're kicking some butt. Lauren from Connecticut. Lauren says, what are your thoughts on promoted pins on interest? I love it for a lot of niche businesses. There's certain ones where I don't think it makes as much sense because the demographics of Pinterest seem to be largely female, like overwhelmingly. But I think for the right niche, I think it's fantastic. I've just started getting into testing it because I want to do things a slightly different way. So once I can kind of get it dialed in and build that funnel, I'll certainly teach it. Assuming I get the good results. If I get bad results, well, there's really nothing to teach. But yeah, if you have an interest in Pinterest, it's more of a comfort level thing. I kind of naturally have always gravitated towards Facebook because I don't know, I just had a comfort level for it. I don't use Pinterest, so it's kind of why I haven't gotten into it faster, but if you have already been using Pinterest as a user, then I would say, hey, absolutely go for it because you kind of know you're like way around Pinterest. You have a comfort level that I still have to learn. Okay, so John Byrne is thanking me from saving him for getting into his next product because he said he was initially pissed that I had shown a product that he was going to launch, but then he saw what the results showed in James Harbaugh's tool, so it caused him not to do it. So anyway, I guess that's a thank you. But I would say, I'm not going to read the rest of yours, but I would say that, at this point, I would just pick your next good product and just go for it. I mean, who cares if it's not a home run? Even if it's just a minor base hit, nothing can replace just in the trenches experience that you'll get by just doing it and sourcing a product and getting it up on Amazon. You don't want to just keep watching my webinars and not get in the game. So I would say pick your next product and just sign on the dotted line. Even if next month I come out and I say, this product, you'd have to be an idiot to source it. Who cares? Who cares? Be the idiot if you have to. Because, look at your first product as that's your Harvard Business School. Who cares if it sinks or swims? It's way cheaper to go through that Harvard business experience program than the real Harvard Business School, or even just one semester, even at a community college. You'll spend way less just sourcing 300-400 units of your first product just to get your feet wet. And then if you happen to make money, fantastic. We'll do a happy dance together, okay? He writes, thanks for the training and exposure to the tools. Keep up the outstanding work. You are a genuine diamond among a lot of cubic zirconias. I like that. Thank you. Appreciate it, John. Oh, that was funny. I like that a lot. All right. Let me, a couple people from Thailand. All right. Let me just take a look here. All right, so Kasaba from Hungary says, please take some time to recap when I will use the different ad types. Okay, the original $1 product launch formula. Well, as I've alluded to, it doesn't have to be $1. It can be $1, $2, $3, $4. It can be $5.95. Okay, and so I use that whenever I'm launching a product. Facebook daily deals ads, again, that can launch or re-rank a product. Facebook offers ads, the same thing as daily deals, so same answer. Amazon sponsored ads, when I get at least 20 reviews on my product, I turn on Amazon sponsored ads, and we ride those Amazon sponsored ads hard during launch phase, and then we try to then dial in at a more profitable level post launch once we're ranking, and Amazon ads are ongoing. Facebook video ads, both for direct sales, high ROI, and as a secondary benefit ranking, but primarily to net more than I spend. YouTube video ads, same answer. Flash deal ads is kind of the new giveaway funnel, if you will. It goes in concert with the $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 giveaway launch funnel. We simultaneously are running flash deal ads as well, just to throw a bunch of different price points into the mix, and it's working very well. So carousel ads isn't a funnel. Carousel ads is just a type of Facebook ad that allows more than one image. And then retargeting, and then retargeting applies to the daily deals. I would do it for. I would not do retargeting on Facebook for the launch funnel, but I would for daily deals. Any discount, heavily discount, but not a giveaway funnel would be appropriate. So flash daily deals, Facebook video ads, you should be retargeting on, and Facebook daily deals. Okay? By the way, you are a notorious, not over, but hyper delivering guy. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the fantastic coaching pyramid content. Thank you much. And when I visit Hungary, let's have dinner, because I want to check out your country one day soon here. So Sean, this is for Sean Stanton. I think I already covered your question because I talked about the giveaway model in combination with the flash sale funnel. And he said he had some friends and family reviews wiped out. Yeah, I mean that happens whether you're doing review club people or real sales, or it's they're not just picking on you. They just tend to be wiping out reviews more often nowadays. So there you go. And it doesn't matter if there's a disclaimer in there, by the way. So don't Okay, so Jonas from Sweden says, if you're in the same niche with several products, okay, same niche, several products, I'm assuming under the same brand here, would you see the advantage of using the same brand name on all the products? Yes, absolutely. I would not give different brand names and promote those under different names. No, because there's multiple goals. Amazon is just one sales channel, and ultimately you're going to want to take that brand off of Amazon onto your own Shopify site. So you want brand, kind of cohesion, if you will, and you will literally build a fan base for all this product line on Amazon, and they will follow you over to your Shopify store. That, we get sales all the time now. I mean, not huge sales, but they're just naturally finding us. They're migrating on their own naturally, just from Google and from inserts to our Shopify store. So there's a major benefit in doing that. Also, people, as funny as it is to you and I, Jonas, but Amazon shoppers become brand loyal, even though their perception is that we are real brands, that we're real companies. So they will literally, if they like your product, keep in mind, in my Feedback Genius emails, just those alone remind them that we're still in business. It reminds them and gives them a good customer service experience. And a certain percentage, when they're leaving a review, because remember, we're in a third email asking them to leave a review, they'll kind of click around, see what other products you have, and a certain percentage will order, or a certain percentage love your product and may not even leave a review, but they'll go back and they'll see what other products you have. And I know it sounds funny to us, but that's what real consumers do. I've been drinking this kind of coffee called Bulletproof Coffee. It's kind of weird, but this guy wrote this book called the Bulletproof Diet. His name is David Asprey, and he sells coffee. Now, is his coffee any damn different than any other coffee that I can buy? Probably not, but I'm spending about 25% more for his damn Bulletproof Coffee because I'm brand loyal to him. And I've bought other products, and now I'm going back to his website and kind of checking out, checking what else he has. So there's real brand loyalty. You don't have to just be a big company. So I would highly recommend that you put them all under one umbrella. Let's see. Okay. So this is Nick from the UK. How you doing, Nick? Need a little clarity about Shopify. Okay, so I'm going to read between the lines here, Nick. So Shopify is a bit quirky in that if you sync up Shopify with your main domain, let's say it's Nick is the greatest Amazon dude on earth.com, then essentially everything's hosted on a Shopify server that you can't access. So you wouldn't be able to put a subdomain on there. You wouldn't be able to have landing pages on there, things like that. So like what we did was we have our Shopify store on a subdomain. So like shop.nicksthegreatestamazondudeonearth.com. Okay? And then your home page could mirror your front page on Shopify, or your home page can just be a bridge page. It says, hey, click here to shop on our e-commerce store. Then we have total control over that server. The only aspect of that process we don't control is the subdomain, and we're fine with that because it's shop.blah.blah.blah.com, which is all through Shopify. It's just the way they do it, okay? So there is a little bit of a weird kind of workaround, but so you only need to worry about that if you're like a lunatic like me and you want to host and build other marketing funnels on our domain. So for me that makes sense, but it's not necessary. You can, let's say your brand name is nickiscool.com. You could just have Shopify at nickiscool.com, and then for your marketing funnels you can do nickhascoolproducts.com. Same icon, same looking banner, same everything on a marketing funnel, just slightly different. To the consumer, they don't care. They won't really know any difference. They're still on the same email list. You see what I'm saying? So there's, I don't know how crazy we need to get with this, but I'm more like you, Nick. I more like prefer to have my blog on the same domain, my funnels on the same domain, but that's kind of the ideal. Okay? Hope that answered your question. Facebook video ads. Do we set up video view pay per impression or video views pay per view? Oh, I can't remember offhand. I'd have to see it. For some reason, I'm blanking on that. I believe I do pay per impression. But I'm a very visual person, and like if I saw a screenshot of it, I could tell you. I'm 90% certain that I do pay per impression for those. Okay, so Brandon from Tennessee, he says, love the share and win funnel. Thanks for sharing. Boom, boom. I like that. I do sometimes get a little confused about the different personas that you suggest we use. I'm assuming Brandon's talking about the fan pages. Number one, official brand. Yes. So you want an official brand fan page. Okay, that's a must. Okay, because that'll go on like your packaging, on your inserts, things like that, right? Okay. Your deal club. Yes. Deal club should be perceived as a neutral third party, not associated with your brand. So if it was, if your brand is called, brandonsdogshampoo.com, you would not want to call your deal club Brandon's Dog Shampoo, your product testers club. You'd want it to be called Super Mega Product Testers Club, who just so happens to be, got this great offer from Brandon's Dog Shampoo Company, and here it is. And then you can have other personas. I do think I covered this already, Brandon, but if you're going to run ads, Facebook ads, you can build a fan page that makes sense for the niche. So you could do like I love German Shepherds and run, that would be your fan page with the sole intention just to use it as the shell under which to run an ad, because I love German Shepherds shows up at the top of that ad, right? So it's instant connection to that niche. You can use a profile picture, instant connection to that niche of a German Shepherd. If you had a generic like, super deals of the week fan page, I couldn't have that tight connection with that dog shampoo market, if that makes sense, okay? And then, you can have like Sally Sue, as you said, a generic name on Facebook that's actually a fan page, right? But so that it doesn't get those negative votes and you don't get your account disabled. And that's a direction I'm going. I like to run my ads now under either my brand fan page or under Sally Sue, Jenny Jones, okay? So they perceive it's coming from somebody they might know, but not sure. Okay? He writes, the language of the emails and posts look like the share and win funnel should be on our official branded Facebook page. Yes, 100%, absolutely right. That is, without a doubt, should be on your branded Facebook page. Okay? And Brandon says, I love joining you in the kitchen for a daily dose of Ben on Periscope. Yeah, isn't it scary how much volume I do in e-commerce sitting on my kitchen table? It sounds like one of those hypey ads, like, hey, how to make blah, blah, blah per month, sitting at your kitchen table in your underwear. Well, I really do. Thank God for the internet, right? What did we do before the internet? I mean, I should remember. Well, I do remember. We used to be on cordless phones, right? And, when I'd call up to flirt with a girl, you'd have to hide around a corner, shut the basement door and practically, yank the damn cord out of the wall, right? And then my brothers would try to, pick up the other receivers and listen in on what I'm saying to the girl that I was flirting with. Man, remember those days? Okay. Lewis from Location Unknown says, two related questions. What is a good cost for a click on Facebook using your funnels? Oh, there is no what's a good cost. It's like saying, hey, what's a good cost per click for auto insurance Google ads? Well, good cost per click for auto insurance ads is $19 cost per click. I'm not kidding. What's a good cost per click for, goldfish food? Well, that's probably 38 cents. So there is no quote unquote good cost for a Facebook click or anything. It's all competition dependent, right? I know people hate that answer, but it just is. I can't give you an answer. Your cost per click will be way higher the more kind of ephemeral the product. So if you're into the like beauty products or supplements, your cost per click to get a lead is going to be triple, quadruple what it will be for something that people instantly get just by looking at a picture. Let's say like a can opener, okay? In order to see results in terms of ranking with Facebook external traffic, how many clicks a day over 4 days are needed? 50 clicks, blah, blah, blah. I would, here, let me let me fix your kind of tactical mindset on one aspect of this. We have proven that sending bursts of traffic from authority sites like YouTube, Google Ads, Facebook, it helps rank, but you don't do it for that purpose because it can backfire. Like, in other words, if something really takes off, you might send a lot of traffic to your listing. So as a general thumb, I would say 70% of the cases when I send ad traffic from authority third-party sites, I get a natural organic boost on Amazon, but that's never why I do it. It's just a happy side benefit. Does that make sense? But never, in my opinion, never do it as your primary reason for running that traffic. The primary reason should be to build a list in the case of a giveaway funnel, to move product in the case of a giveaway funnel, to move product, again, in the case of a flash sale, okay? Or to generate a high ROI in the case of like Facebook video ads. But I would never do it solely to hope that you get an organic ranking boost, okay? Would you recommend going for a high-priced product with a short lifespan? Okay, a product that probably only will be popular for a shorter period of time and die out. Ooh, I wish I had an example, because I personally would not, but I wouldn't have a problem doing a high-priced product with a long lifespan, because there's plenty of those, And if so, what's the best way to get reviews if you don't want to give away products, at least not too many? Okay, yeah, if your product cost is $100, $200, yeah, it's too crazy, but that's a perfect application for Review Sniper, because you can at least give away 10 units and just tell the reviewer, hey, just so you know, this is a very expensive product. You're under no obligation to do so, but I would certainly appreciate it because of our cost to get this to you. If you would consider leaving a video review and or using some user-submitted photos, I would just, it would mean a lot to us because we're a small company. And that's absolutely what I would do. Some people want to know what the link, hold on a second. Just go through some of the typed questions here. What is the, a couple people want to know what the link is for Review Sniper, and give me a sec. I got to give you the backdoor link here because it's not open to the public. So just 1 second here. Got to go on my own freaking website to find it. I don't even know. Hold on a second. Just got to look at a recent. Just give me a quick second here. I can never remember all these links. Just cue the music in your mind. Okay, I think it was here. Okay, so it is right here. Here's the link here. It's reviewsniper.net, not .com. I'm going to pull this up. Excuse me. reviewsniper.net/go. It is not publicly available. I highly recommend it. We use it daily. I have a full-time person doing our Review Sniper for us, and that's not going away. That's not ever. I can never see Amazon banning people that are listed in their own directory as top 10,000 reviewers. They wouldn't want those people if they didn't have a directory and they have a Vine program and on and on and on. I mean, they know that that's how it works because people need, honest and unbiased, quote unquote, honest and unbiased reviews, and so they're. I've never ever heard of anybody banned by asking, one of these kind of authorized, quote unquote, authorized reviewers to review your product because there's no guarantee that they're going to leave a 5-star review, But anyway, that's the site. I just want to stress is .net though, not so. It's reviewsniper.net/go. Gabe from Kentucky says, my first product launched 11 days ago, and now I'm scared to death I'll run out for the holidays. I know, I'm in that boat. I placed a huge order, 10,000 units, and I thought I had plenty of freaking time, and now we're coming down to the wire. It's crazy, isn't it? Nerve-wracking. Gabe says 25% of his is already gone. Well, I would absolutely place a reorder ASAP if you already have it, because there's no reason not to, because you're going to have a really good you'll miss November probably, because it's going to take probably 20 days to get to Amazon. But December will do well for you. And by the way, January and into half of February, very, very strong buying activity. People still are in the habit of whipping out that credit card. So we typically have very, very robust January and February's too. Al from Washington says, Ben, thank you for caring. I never missed the replay. I'm grateful for you. Thanks. I appreciate that, Al. I'm starting a new brand, product, and niche. Okay? I'm essentially picking a new product from scratch, and I'm presuming I will know nothing about the niche I choose. Okay. Just if it makes you feel better, I had no clue about the niches that I'm in right now whatsoever. Can you suggest how we can combine Terapeak, Kippert, and your high odds product picking formula into the ultimate Ben Cummings high odds product picking system? Okay, here's what I would do. Terapeak, let's just set that one aside. That's fun to kind of poke around and look at, and it's so darn cheap. I would say just get that at a month at a time when you just want, just some fresh ideas. Now that Kippert's out, I combine Kippert with my high odds product picking formula. So it's very easy to integrate, because right within Kippert it shows me the BSRs. I want 3 BSRs under 1,000 and one of those BSRs under 200 ideally, right? Then I have merchant words open and I do a quick merchant words test, okay? And then I still want to make sure that I can make a 40% net profit, and I do a quick Alibaba check, assuming that it's something manufactured in China. But where Kippert comes into play is now I have a lot of sales-specific data, and also some really, really interesting high-level data on the entire sector, because it shows me how many new listings are coming on per month, and like average price, and all kinds of other data. As I alluded to on this month's Fast Track webinar, I will, as I get more comfortable with the tool, I'll put together kind of the ultimate high odds, like a profit picking formula or product picking formula, and I will share that with you. But you pretty much already have it. It's just the addition of making sure that there's now product depth, sales per day depth beyond the first 5 or 6 listings. So in other words, if I see that the only people making any money for that product are the top 4 or 5, and then after the top 5, it just jumps off a cliff. Whoa, that's really good information to have, right? And I also gave some other little tips, so I would refer you back to that webinar replay. But yeah, I'm still waiting for to find a psychic who can just like wave him or her fingers over the Amazon.com website and just magically give me the surefire winners, man. I want that to happen. Hasn't happened yet. So that's why I keep teaching these different little tools and these nuances that I find to try to gradually goose up our success rate from 80 to 90% now. I think with Kippert we're probably able to get it up to closer to 90% odds of making 10,000 a month or more. Now that I have the sales data, the competition of listings per month, and some of the other factors I covered. Hey Neil, my suggestion to you is exactly what you said. If the UK niche for your specific product is just insanely competitive, maybe the Chinese are selling it at a very small profit, I would move off of the Amazon USA site and right over to Amazon UK, but also Amazon Germany, because it's relatively easy to do. All the people that I've met in our 25K collective and at live event meetings, they say, Ben, it's so easy to do, because more and more Amazon.com and Amazon EU are being more and more tightly integrated. So yeah, when your sandbox is getting full of too many bullies, just find a different sandbox. There's a lot of other very interesting Amazon markets that you might want to look at. So I think it's a great example of you borrowed your own watch to tell you what time it is, right? All right. Alan says, Alan from Hawaii, cool. You had showed the do's and don'ts of packaging in your recent Periscope show. The bad packaging had no brand name or product info in a box. Yeah, it was literally a white box, like with no instructions, not even a modicum of effort to try to wow me at all. It was mind-boggling, and when I got it was a selfie stick, because I've been buying selfie sticks to find like the ultimate one because I do Periscope every day now. And I'm like, can this be done any more lazily? Now, I get it. If you are just doing a quick product test, sure, throw it in a poly bag or just use a generic white box. Okay, I get it. And maybe he was doing that, but I don't think he was because I found him. I always try to support a fellow private labeler. So if I see like a sponsored ad and it looks kind of like what I'm looking for, I'll try to buy it that way, just to help the guy out. I'd rather give it to one of us than a big company. So, sometimes you get some interesting experiences doing that. So maybe he was just testing the market, but I don't think so because he had enough reviews and it looked like he was trying to rank it. So anyway, he says, question: can you have the sourcing company use their own generic packaging with an insert into the box or package with your name brand? Absolutely, absolutely. So, and I've done this. So you would just ask the supplier, and if you're talking like China, they all have kind of a generic box that they use oftentimes to send product samples in, and then just have them slap on the FN SKU, or you can just have Amazon do that when the product is shipped. The risk that you take doing that approach, though, is you just have to look and make sure that there's not 15 other ASMers that are using the same damn generic box and that are listing. So you don't want your listing to become like a lookalike listing, right? Because then it just becomes a price game. Then you're like a commodity. Then you're like selling milk, right? So there's a lot of advantages to having succinct, unique, powerful product packaging, in my opinion. Good question. Chris De La Pena from Canada says, product inserts, what are the do's and don'ts? For product inserts, please share some ninja tactics. Well, look, Amazon doesn't really want you to use product inserts that divert traffic. So, your business, your choice. The reality is, though, that on probably 99% of the boxes is the company's website, and they don't have a problem with that. And in a lot of FBA situations, when the inventory is shipped into the FBA warehouse, there is a product insert, or if there's like a bottle, there's like a hang tag on the bottle, and it says, would you like to join our product testers VIP club? Visit here. So as far as like terms of service, everything that works is probably, again, some terms of service on Amazon, right? But your business, your choice, as I say. Okay, so Jason from the UK, and Jason Sheridan's been on a lot of my Periscope shows, so he's a name that I've got to know. How you doing, Jason? He writes, I've been using Kippert tool and have run it against the product that I'm researching. It meets all the criteria except for launches in the previous month. The current month is like 25, but the last 3 months are way over, like 113, 92, 114. He's talking about the number of new listings. You have to understand, that's still not a lot. In the world of Amazon, I mean, you know, think of all the different listings that can be created that are new listings. People can bring retail products online, they can do bundles, they can do used products, and they're private labelers. So I wouldn't be scared of even 114 if the rest of it lined up for you, okay? I mean, I just threw out there that I like to see that number of new listings per month to be below 50, but that's literally just a gut level made up number. I just don't, I would not say that's a black and white. That's just generally I like to see it. 114, if everything else looked like it was kicking ass, that would not scare me at all. If I saw like 400, yeah, that's going to scare me. Okay. So yeah, so there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of flexibility in that number. Okay, John? And I wish you luck with that. Sounds like you're getting some good use out of the Kipper tool. Kathy from Utah says, when you develop a promotion, do you prefer a percentage off or a set amount, or do you use a group code or a single user code? Okay, I'm assuming you mean when I actually create the coupon in Seller Central. You typically, ideally want to do $ off. If you're ever doing like a giveaway, like you're giving your product away for $3, always do $ off for that. Don't ever do percentage. Or somebody could add 1,000 units of your product and get 99% off. Don't do percentage off ever for those giveaways. Okay. Group code or single user code just depends. If I'm only giving, let's say, 10% off, or you know, let's say 20% off, and a YouTube star is featuring my product, then I'm not going to do that as a single-use code because it's not practical. I'll do a group code for that. And by the way, the smaller the discount, I do use percentage off in that case because great, let it buy 1,000 units for 10% off. I don't mind that. But always use $ off for very aggressive discounts, in particular for your giveaways. For smaller discounts, I'm perfectly fine with you using the percentage off and using group codes for that. And last question here, and I'll take like 10 minutes of live questions here. Excuse me. Man, I forgot my water. Can you please tell me how many regular and virtual employees you are running that I employ? I believe it's 6 or 7. Maybe I'll do a segment. He wants all kinds of details, what I pay him, all the positions, what their daily tasks. I'd be here all day if I went through that because I can't even remember off the top of my head. But broad picture, one handles my supply chain, my manufacturers, reorders, all that stuff, okay? So let's call them inventory manager. I have a marketing assistant, handles a lot of the stuff where I can, duplicate myself, okay? I have a full-time bookkeeper / financial coordinator. I have a full-time, part-time CFO that I share with RCI, a full-time project manager who is like a jack of all trades, full-time a customer support person. I know I'm forgetting others. And then there's 3 people that are the 3 partners. So myself, Wilson, Jason. My wife, Emily, she's not a paid employee, but she helps out just doing various projects for me because she helped me, found the business. But we decided it's probably better for a marriage if she doesn't work full time with me. And I think that's it. All right, so that's it for the submitted questions. Let's go to some of the typed in questions here. I'm going to frankly just skip right to the bottom, so if you have a question, go ahead and type it, even if you typed it previously. I don't have TerraPeak fired up, Steve. Sorry, buddy. And you do have to poke around with that to find products for sure. Because sometimes, like if you look up by top sellers, sometimes it'll be like Wayfair or like Best Buy. So I just skip those, and then I might go a little bit deeper. And I also play around with just like best sellers. You don't have to go for like best-selling vendor. You just do best sellers in a category. But yeah, I don't have that fired up right now. For Facebook ads, you said better use a fan page with a person name. Well, no, it depends on the circumstance. If I'm doing like an ad, look, it's all context, right? So if I'm going to do share and win, clearly that has to be a brand name page, or it makes no sense, since the people we're targeting with share and win are people that own the product, right? Because those are referrals. So you'd never use a person name for that, right? But for a newsfeed ad, they've never heard of our brand. For new customer acquisition, let's say for, I don't know, flash sale, you would use, Jenny Mars, and Jenny Mars would say, wow, just got this awesome 48% off, screwdriver. It normally sells for $39.95 on Amazon. This is the real deal. Let's check it out here. Boom, link. Right? That sounds more authentic, and it's coming from a person, even though it's a fan page, but it's coming from a person. Keith Kruger, I covered this in a previous session. I actually had on the Managed by Stats people. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4 months ago. It's a blur, but you can go to the members dashboard right here, and we've added this master index of webinars that Kim Marie makes for us and updates. Thank you, Kim Marie, by the way. She's awesome. And you can see what month that those people did that. And they walk you through. They use Send Pulse. They show you the type of email. They answer all that question for you, okay? So I would refer you to that. Okay. David, the answer to your title length question is I definitely adhere to the terms of service for my product category. So if it's 200 characters, I definitely adhere to that. And within those 200 characters, I absolutely try to put my most important keywords. So I would say no matter what, even if you see all your competitors with longer titles, they're going to have their titles truncated manually, which is the worst thing that can happen. So I would just stick by the character rules, but then keyword stuff without being obvious, because stuffing keywords into the title, absolutely, I've shown time and time again, helps your visibility and rankings on Amazon. Second best place is the bullets. The product description is useless as far as triggering Amazon search terms and being found there. And best in order, third best is the search terms, that section when you're setting up the listing. Tim, I answered this one earlier. Have friends and family buy at full price and then reimburse them on the back end. And just so you know, pretty much all of that's against Amazon terms of service. But we're talking friends and family. We're talking warm market here. So I'm not saying saying that you can do this, but your business, your choice, right? Kim Marie, what's up? Just mentioned you. Question, I'm having my FNSKU printed directly onto my packaging. Does it have to be a certain size or just as long as it's scannable? There is a minimum size. I can't remember. Let's just do a quick Google search. FNSKU minimum size. Let's see. I'm trying to see. There is something somewhere in. Let's see if this says it. Okay, I don't know. There is some labeling PDF I found one search that showed that that said that it can't be some super teeny size. Yeah, so as long as it's scannable, you should be good to go. I would say that if you can fit about 1 inch, 1.5 inch wide, that's probably big enough. But I would verify that. I have one FNSKU that's so freaking teeny. It's on a really small package, and I was really worried about it, but they can scan it no problem. Jonah says, what level on Kipper do you suggest we buy? Probably just the cheapest one. I have the middle one that lets me see the similar ASINs. That to me I find very useful, but I realize everyone's on a budget and blah 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 blah. Let me see if I can find that. Here's the link for that. This is my affiliate link. As I was kind of saying to everybody this month on the on my webinar, I usually don't care if you use my affiliate link. Lately, I'm wanting you to use my affiliate link because I'm investing that money to buy into funnels so I can document and I can buy these products and all the upsells. I can document what their e-commerce funnels look like, and I teach that because it can get very, very expensive. So, I mean, ultimately, you do what you want, but I always appreciate if you can, use these two here are links that I'm compensated for. If I have my own website up already, is it beneficial to start a Shopify store? Shopify is specifically an e-commerce platform, so if you only have like one product, probably not right now, but as soon as you start having multiple SKUs, multiple UPC codes, then there's a lot of advantage as you expand your product line to having a Shopify platform. WordPress is to blogs what Shopify is to e-commerce, basically. Matthew says, I'm about to sell out of all my inventory. Hey, that's good. Good job. How long do you wait when you restock until you do a giveaway to retain your old rank? Well, I don't typically do a giveaway when I run out of stock unless I have to. I don't panic. I don't hit the panic button. I typically wait a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, and it's almost always come back. I definitely don't forget to pause your ads because yes, supposedly they stopped displaying your ads, but I have a stinking suspicion that one time I forgot and I was still paying for those impressions because the bill didn't seem to change much. But once that product gets back on, one thing you can do without having to do a bunch of giveaways again is just massively spend more on your Amazon ads campaign because you know which ones are profitable, which isn't. So that's what I'd recommend you do. So a Shopify site is just a platform. So it's like saying, how is a WordPress site beneficial, right? So WordPress is beneficial if you want an easy-to-use way to have a blog, and Shopify is beneficial if you want an easy-to-use way to have an e-commerce store. That's all. There's no magic in a quote-unquote Shopify site. It's just a platform that is just geared towards e-commerce. Brad says, would it still be beneficial to run a small amount of traffic through the ASM Ranker and Link Rotator at the launch of a product? Well, I still think it is, but as a big public trainer, I got to watch what I say because that is one of the terms of service that they sort of kind of address. They didn't call it a super URL, but to use a super URL would be kind of obvious for Amazon to see. Now, do they care really if we're moving 50 units through a super URL? I doubt it. I mean, they have a hard enough time with basic customer support for FBA. I mean, do you think they're worried about a guy moving 50 units? Who knows? I don't know, But so I always have to give the disclaimer of I have a comfort level doing it, at small levels, but just know what the risk is, okay? Jonas says, did one of those this week, and that ad is kicking ass. I think Jonas means yeah, Joshua, I did a previous segment on FameBit. And I covered FameBit, by the way, at the live event that you can, I think I put the live event in the dashboard. Let me see. I usually try to put those in there. Yeah, here we go. So up in the bonus trainings, ASM live event from Vegas. I did a couple speeches. I did 3 speeches. Day 1 is when I talked about, my God, look how bald I am in that picture. Sunburned and bald. Anyway, it's scary. I'm gonna quit looking at myself. Anyway, it's at day 1. It's at day 1 speech. Oh my God. How my wife can stay with me is a freaking miracle. Okay. Guys, I'm pretty much fried. I'm going to take one more question here. Does Amazon Seller Central allow us to use Amazon feedback within our description and bullet points? Amazon Seller Central doesn't allow anything technically. Now, whether they would ban you, highly unlikely. So I use quotes in our last bullet, and I use like testimonial quotes at the top of our product description. I find it very effective. But do they allow it? Technically, probably not. They want literally the most bone dry, boring titles, name, rank, and serial number kind of thing in the bullets. That being said, I got to compete. I can't be ridiculous either. I got to deal with reality because I'm surrounded, top to bottom, side to side by similar products, so I need to stand out. So I do it anyway. Okay. All right, guys. I am fried. We've been going 2 hours, and so good session. We covered a lot of interesting topics. Sometimes when I do these, everyone's like obsessed by one thing, and I get literally like a dozen of the same question because it's on everybody's mind. This was a broad, diverse number of questions, which I find more interesting and stimulating as well. So I hope you guys do as well, and keep tuning in to my Periscope show. It's quite frankly, I did it for you guys. I did it for the fast trackers, and I let non-fast trackers watch it as well. But it's my original thought was to have some good connection that that you and I could maintain. It has to be a public show because there's no way to do a private Periscope show. Okay, so it would just make no sense to limit it that way. And plus, as you guys have seen, I don't get into the super duper ninja stuff that is only for you guys, for my paying clients. But I have no problem, sharing some theory, sharing some tools that are, generally out there, but people might not be aware of. I love adding value to people's lives. It's a lot of fun. It's work gets old, but when you see people who's, I know it sounds hokey, but when you see people's lives are changing and they're really getting help from a tip or just a kick in the ass, it's really inspiring to me. It actually gives me energy. So anyway, make sure that you're following my Periscope show. Download the Periscope app in the iPhone store. I know it works for most of the phones. For like something like 98% of the smartphones out there, I actually looked it up. There's like 2% that are either outdated or something like that is not compatible. But the vast majority of you should be able to download the Periscope app. It's free. Once you're in there, do a search for Ben Cummings. You'll see my bald head. And there's a little description that says blah, 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 e-commerce expert or something like that. And just click the little follow button. And from there on forward, you'll be getting notifications when I'm live. And then you'll have 24 hours to watch that e-commerce mini secret. I try to keep them to about 10 to 12 minutes long. The idea being that, hey, that content is self-destructing within 24 hours. So it compels you, it forces you to watch the content daily and consume it. You're awash with content. So, hey, here's some content has a ticking time bomb. And it acts as a kick in the ass daily. And, turn it on and watch the replay while you're brushing your teeth, normally bored out of your mind while you're shaving. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff while I'm in the shower when I'm shaving. It might be a good time to catch up on the daily Periscope show that way, or join live. It's really fun to interact live with people as well. I get people saying, hey, I'm at the airport, I'm out fishing. Somebody said, hey, I'm out fishing today watching your show. That's pretty cool. So, all right, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to all of you guys again soon. Bye-bye.